Welcome to the 14th edition of the Spooky Ventures Spooky Reviews. For this new spooky review, I'm going to be looking at a movie from 1982 called Blood Tide. It was produced by a British company, but set and filmed on a Greek island. The film sort of disappeared without much attention, but has been rediscovered and released on Blu-ray by Arrow Films. There are a number of contrasts to the movie. The scenery is beautiful, with old buildings and sea shots really making it appear to be a lush, major production. Several Academy Award-winning actors, James Earl Jones, Jose Ferrer, and Lila Kudrova, are in the cast. Other members of the cast include Mary Louise Weller of Animal House fame, Martin Kove, best known for the Karate Kid series and some recent commercials, Lydia Cornell from Too Close for Comfort, and Deborah Shelton of Dallas fame. All of these things give the impression that this movie will be something really special. Here's where the dichotomy comes in. The film has a rather trite storyline. An ancient monster has been kept at bay by the sacrifice of virgins in ancient times, but has been dormant in the modern day. That is, until James Earl Jones' character inadvertently frees it from a rocky prison. With that rather overused plot, you might expect a B-movie, and this is a lot closer to that. Still, even within that, they seem to be reaching for something more heady. There seems to be a theme through a convent on the island of a modern religion being helpless against older beliefs. That's a theme that's actually present in Richard Stanley's brilliant Color Out of Space, which I reviewed earlier this year. It was done much better there than it is here. The fact that Jones' character seems to constantly quote Shakespeare, they explain it by his past as an actor, seems to be another attempt at making the movie more artsy. They also include a character named Dionysus, who, among other things, provides wine to guests and villagers. They even draw attention to the mythology reference of that by having a character mention it. Yet another aspect that takes away from the artsy thing is the fact that there seems to be a lot of gratuitous TNA on display. Whether it's the tiny bikinis, the topless shots, or the wet t-shirt footage, it often feels like a slasher film in the way that bodies, live ones in this instance, are on display. I have to guess that the cost of location shooting, in addition to the salaries of some of the actors, meant that they had very little budget for special effects. We get very few shots of the monster, and they are short ones at that. It's kind of a shame because it's a rather intriguing creature from what we do see. The movie doesn't feature much gore either. It tends to focus more on talking and scenic, both natural and human shots than on action. In fact, there isn't much on-screen violence in the movie, really. That makes it a little boring at times. The budget also takes away from it. This thing looks low budget even for the time period, really. And the other thing that kind of goes against it is that none of the characters are particularly likable. There are some intriguing, mysterious qualities to some of them, though. Some of those are explained, while others just make the characters seem like weirdos. Jones's character comes across as a mercenary and pragmatic person who seems largely detached, while the fact that he's nearly constantly drunk speaks to some pain he's trying to keep at bay. I'd consider this movie worth seeing as long as your expectations aren't too high. There are some things that are never really resolved, and the strange behavior at the end by one of the main characters is definitely one of those. The video doesn't include a lot of bonus features. There's some audio commentary. There is also a new interview with producer, co-writer Nico Mastorikis. I've heard some great reviews of it, but I wasn't able to see it. My screener copy had a link to it, but that link didn't work. It just took me back to the main screen. I have to assume that that's fixed in later copies. So there you have a rundown of Blood Tide. Get out there and check it out. Spooky Ventures is the home for spooky content and spooky merchandise on the web. Check it out today at spookyventures.com. And remember, always keep it spooky.